So let's get into it. What is up, everybody? It's me, J Rod, the filmmaker, former film major, frequent fighting gamer from Philadelphia, and we are back once again with another very special episode of First and Final. I have a lot of these recorded for this year. I think I'm already going to be at, 2 times the amount of trailers and reviews for First and Final last year, because they just keep dropping stuff. And last time I did all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies plus Nope, which was 4. We had Doctor Strange 2 was the first one, and then Thor Love and Thunder, and then Wakanda Forever was at the end of the year, and Nope came right before that. But this year we've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. By the time you're seeing this, you already know that I've done one for Across the Spider-Verse. Also, I'm planning on doing one for Star Wars Visions. I think that trailer is out. I might actually record that next. And then who knows? There could still be a new DC movie to come out that I'm like, okay, actually, there's the Flash. But I already saw the Flash trailer, so I'm not going to do a First and Final for that one. But who knows what could be the next thing to drop that makes me want to do another First and Final video. So, yeah, I can't even say that that's all that we're going to get into for the year. But if this is your first one, then you're probably wondering, what is a First and Final video? Well, it's very easy. I shoot 2 different videos. The first one is my first reaction. It's a reaction video to the first trailer I ever get to see for this movie or show or other. And then the second part of the video will be my final thoughts. Once I've finally seen the full film, I will write a review. I will give you a spoiler-free and a spoiler-filled review. And I put those 2 videos together into one, a 2-in-1. So if you're watching this First and Final, that means that I have already done my first reaction. I've done my final review, and you're about to watch them right now. If that's not what you came here for, then go ahead. You can click off, go check out the movie, the Marvels that I'm about to react to, so it doesn't get spoiled for you. But it's okay, because it's going to be a little bit of a minute before I get into spoilers. I actually don't even have any spoilers right now, because I'm just about to do the first reaction. But when I switch over to the future, I will have all those spoilers. I will be able to tell you guys what I really think about this film. But before we can do that, we got to start off with the first reaction. And like I said, I briefly mentioned, we're reacting to the Marvels, the newest Captain Marvel sequel. It's been so long since the first Captain Marvel film. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about why I think it's been so long. But I got to tell you guys that I am very excited about this. I'm just kind of neutral. I'm kind of indifferent on Captain Marvel. I liked the first movie. I thought she did a great job in it. But what really has me excited for this one is I'm a huge Tiana Paris fan / Monica Rambeau, and I am a huge Miss Marvel fan as of when her show premiered on Disney+. So I'm glad that they brought all 3 of these characters together, and I'm excited to see what is going to go on in this film. I really have no idea what's going to happen. Where are we going with this? This is... Are we in phase 4 or phase 5? I don't remember, so I'm going to have to edit that in. But this is the newest phase of the MCU. And this is actually going to be one of the latest films we get in this phase. So this might actually be what gives us the teasers for the next phase and the next installment. I'm going to grab my headphones. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to get right into it. Now, before we get into it, I've talked a little bit about reviews on my channel. I do reviews myself, but I also have a video about reviews and how reviews can be as biased as the people who are making the reviews. Whether that's a critic review or an audience review, they can still contain a lot of bias. And I think in that video I talked about the first Captain Marvel film and how it was not that bad of a film, but it definitely did get review bombed just for being a woman-led MCU film. That's literally it. Just because a woman led this film, people absolutely hated it. And I need to mention that, I'm a fan of the MCU. I think I've seen all the movies so far, except for a few of the really bad ones. But I think that people are so much more critical of the MCU now than they used to be. And it's not that the movies are worse quality. I don't think they are. A lot of them are better quality. But I think before Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, people had really low expectations for these movies. So whenever they came out, they would exceed their expectations. And people are like, okay, it was okay, but it was better than I expected. So overall, give it a good opinion. Then Infinity War and Endgame came out, blew everybody's expectations out the water. Some of the best movies in the entire MCU. And then after that, people was like, well, now everything has to be that. Everything has to be on those levels. So the expectations shot up. And now the movies are still just okay, but they are under current expectations for a lot of people. So they used to put out corny movies that would exceed people's expectations and get good reviews. Now they're putting out pretty good movies that are below people's expectations, so they get review bombed to hell. And I gotta say that, maybe you didn't like Thor Love and Thunder, but I think Thor Love and Thunder is easily better than Thor 1 and 2. And maybe you didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, but that movie was easily better than Ant-Man 1 and 2. So how come none of those other movies got review bombed? Thor 1, Thor 2, Ant-Man 1, Ant-Man 2. Because people didn't really care at the time, and now we have so many more fans in the MCU. So many people who didn't consider themselves Marvel fans who do now. And, everybody has an opinion. So we're going to get into it. All that being said, I'm still very excited for this movie. No amount of review bombing, no amount of misogyny or anything of the sorts could actually bring me down on this movie. The only thing that could is if the movie actually sucks. But I'm going to be completely honest on how I feel about it. I can't say that my reviews are unbiased. Like I said, I love Tiana Paris, one of my favorite actresses ever. But I would never cap to y'all and say this movie was good if it wasn't. And I'm not going to cap to y'all and say the movie is bad if it wasn't. I expect it to be a nice watch, something casual, something funny and fun, light. And that's what all these MCU movies are. So I think because I have the proper expectations, I won't be disappointed. I probably won't be blown out of the water either. But I'm very excited to actually check out the Marvels now and give you guys my first reactions. Let's switch over to the reaction camera. Excuse me. There we go.
Captain Rambo? What the hell are
Captain Rambo, there she go.
The jump point perimeter. I'm gonna get you some readings, Fury.
I expected her to just be in space, no suit.
Captain Rambo?
It's Miss Marvel. That was sick.
Captain Rambo.
Oh, so when she switched, when she switched with the bangle, she switched with Monica. Carol switched with her. So then Monica probably switched with Carol.
What the?
That's kind of cool.
Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
So did she go back?
Our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy, and
That's
I can
sick.
totally show you. Not again.
She turned. So every time she uses her powers, she turns into Carol. And she was just in space fighting Kree with the flirkin. Bro, Iman Vellani is gonna be hilarious at this. Where are they going? Was that space or was that Earth? Yeah, I'm assuming that's space. Was that? I look like Jussie Smollett.
We're a team. Oh, no, we're not a team.
Journey Smollett, sorry. Okay. Dang, that was it? I would have liked a little bit more. Personally. I think they should have done just a little teeny bit more. I'm going to run it back and play it on mute while I talk about it a little bit. I just wanted a little more. That was about 2 minutes, which, is expected for a first trailer. They usually drop more and more as it goes on. But I like that. I liked it a lot. I have no idea story-wise where it's going to go. Like, I get the this kind of cosmic entanglement that they all have. So when they have no choice but to be a team at this point. Whenever they use their power, they kind of do the switch places thing. So I assume that them three staying together is the easiest way for them to get anything done, so that they don't have to blip back and forth between like Earth and space. But I'm very excited. Like I said, I don't know where the story is gonna go, but I have a feeling it's gonna have to do a little bit with the Secret Invasion show that's gonna be coming up. It's gonna have a little bit to do with the first movie and whatever the Kree/Skrulls are going to be doing. Whatever Nick Fury has been doing in space all this time, I guess we'll finally get an answer to that. It looks like he comes back to Earth, but we really have no idea if that's him, if that's a Skrull on his behalf. I guess we can assume that's him because Monica did come back too. So who knows? We have no idea what any of this means, but I'm excited. It looks light and looks funny and looks fun, which I think is personally what I'm looking forward to. I think that was the first movie's biggest weakness. I thought it was a great action film, but it was just so like straightforward, militaristic almost, like, yeah, we got to do this and this and this. I think this one is going to be a lot of like Monica and Kamala bringing Carol out of her comfort zone, and then maybe Carol making those two a little bit more militaristic, basically making them into Avengers. I think is going to be her role in the story. But yeah, I thought that looked great. I thought that looked really cool. I'm very excited for this film. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be funny. Definitely going to see it when it drops. So yeah, for the first reaction, all I gotta say is I think it's gonna be good. I cannot wait until November to see some of my favorite characters again. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. So the next time you see me, I actually have this plan. I found a bangle. I put it on. I think if I tap it 3 times and I do something, it will send me into a quantum entanglement. I'll switch places, go to space, and then that will basically dilate the time so that I'm only going to be in space for like a couple weeks. But by the time I come back, then the movie should have dropped. And I'll go check out the Marvels, and I'll tell you guys what my final thoughts were on the film. So guys, I'm going to pass it over to myself in the future, give you guys my spoiler-free thoughts of the movie, then my spoiler-filled thoughts at the end. But yeah, that's been it for this first reaction. Now let's send it over to my final thoughts. Oh, okay. Whoa. All right. That was interesting. All right, I found a glowing bangle, and I pressed it, and I think I just switched place with a future version of myself. What's up, everybody? We are back in the future with the second half of First and Final, so y'all know what that means. We're about to get my final review of the Marvels, and the only way that I'm going to give my final review is because I went and saw it yesterday. The film's actually out today, but they do like a day early release for most of these Marvel films. So I went and saw it yesterday so I could get this review up just in time on Friday like I normally upload. And guys, I'm very excited to talk about it. I'm very excited for this one. But before I get into it, I just wanted to say that it was a really busy day yesterday. I wanted to write and record my review same day that I watched the movie, but so much was going on. In the morning, Omni-Man dropped in Mortal Kombat 1. If you want to see me playing as him, obviously this is not a gameplay video, but I did an entire live stream with Omni-Man. We checked out his moves. We checked out all the new stuff that the Combat League and Invasion Season has to offer, like the new seasonal store, new premium store. I unlocked the entire shrine. So yeah, just exploring everything in the new update. So check that out if you haven't already. Then after that, we went to go see this film. And then when we came back from this film, we had the season finale of Big Brother 25. I don't know if y'all know that I'm a huge Big Brother fan. I probably do 1 or 2 Big Brother videos a year, so it's not a huge fandom on this channel, but I am a really big fan of it. It ended last night after 100 days, which is way too many days. And then I wish that was it. I wish it was like, okay, and then Big Brother went off and I went to sleep and I was happy. No, because the Loki season finale was after that. And so I went and I checked out the Loki season finale last night before I went to bed. The new Invincible episode is out today. I got a video I want to make about Gen V that I never got around to doing, so hopefully I can get to that today. I got some Mortal Kombat edits I've been working on that I didn't even get time to upload because of all the other things. And also yesterday I recorded my reaction to the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action Netflix show. So that should be up same day. That should be up today as well. But bro, I'm just saying I'm tired. That's why I decided to go to bed last night after I watched Loki, and I was like, I will do this review in the morning. But without further ado, it's now time to get into the review for the Marvels. Like I said, I'm very excited to talk about. In the past, when I was doing my first reaction, I talked about the expectations of these Marvel films, and I don't think that the Marvel films quality is on a decline at all. I just think that our expectations for these Marvel films are on an incline, and so that when the film is just okay, it doesn't meet expectations. And I think that a film before Infinity War Endgame, we had low expectations for. So when it was just okay, you're like, oh, it was okay, but it was better than I expected. This is why, like, I use this example every time. But Thor 1 and 2 are pretty bad movies, but nobody really cared. Nobody was in an uproar, you know? And then, like, Ant-Man 1 and 2, I rewatched them before I saw Ant-Man Quantumania. They're not really good either. They don't hold up at all. And the events of most of those films kind of just fly by night. None of it actually mattered or was memorable. But those films didn't get as bad of reviews as something like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania or Thor 4, because we have higher expectations now in the post-Endgame era. But I am happy to say with this film, The Marvels, that it was better than I ever expected. And I was excited for it. Y'all heard me in my first reaction. I love these characters. I was really excited to see what they were going to do in the new one and their new dynamic. And I was blown out of the water. I think that there were some things in this, VFX, stunts, that were some of the best I've seen in the MCU in a really long time. And to pair that with the great performances and the pretty good story, like it was a story that really lived up to and completed the arcs of all these characters. All of that together, this was a really good Marvel film. I think you should all check it out. It was also a fun film, especially when you compare it to the first Captain Marvel film. This is way more fun, way more funny, way lighter in tone, and is just much more of a good time. And it's not that the first one was really bad, but in that film, Captain Marvel was very militant, very direct. She didn't really get a moment to have fun, be fun, and she didn't even have friends to have fun and be fun with outside of maybe Maria Rambeau. But in this one, they give her friends, they give her fun, goofy stuff to do, they give her fun adventures and someone to just share these moments with. I think that really was like a 180 turn for Carol Danvers' character in this film. Now she's a part of a team, she's a mentor, she's a little more open to having fun, and she also dealt with the more serious moments that came after Captain Marvel 1. There were great performances all around. I think I said this before, but it was honestly a competition between Tiana Paris and Iman Vellani for who was going to be my favorite in this film. I was very excited for both of them, but they just kept going back and forth. Iman Vellani is like screaming in so many different scenes. Like every time she sees something she doesn't know, the yell that she lets out is hilarious. It made me laugh every single time. And then Tiana Paris's character, Monica Rambeau, she's very like even keel, very calm demeanor. She's like, okay, Kamala, let's bring it down to a calm level. Let's bring the volume down. I love the dynamic between all three of them because they all have their different parts, their different uses in the story. Carol is still that leader, that militant, that let's get it done, do it now, really fast and really powerful. Monica is very calculated. She takes her time, she does her research, she does not rush into anything. She knows exactly what she's going to do, when she's going to do it. And then Kamala is a kid, and she's having a bunch of fun, but also there are some things that a kid brings to superhero movies. Like we already know about like Shazam. It's always good to have this one neutral perspective child who still has an entire moral compass intact. They're not weighed down by the experiences that they went through. So Kamala Khan's character is literally just there to trying to be a hero and trying to save the day, trying to do good, and I love that. I love that for her. I think it really works within the story. Let's see. They did a good job, like I said, actually wrapping up, because there are 3 different storylines going on here. There's the WandaVision storyline, the Miss Marvel storyline, and the Captain Marvel 1 storyline. And they did a pretty good job tying all that into one story without it feeling all over the place. It was a cohesive story beginning to end. Everyone felt like they had a purpose and that they belonged in the story, and not that they were just shoehorned into it. I would have probably liked a little bit more WandaVision references or a little more conclusion to the WandaVision story, I guess. But I get it that part was a little bit, that might have felt like shoehorning if they did too much WandaVision. So they just kind of alluded to it really easily. And it was okay. I like that. But I did feel like there was enough Miss Marvel in this. Like the family was well represented and they were having a great time. And I did feel like there was enough Captain Marvel 1 references. Even though I didn't rewatch Captain Marvel 1, I think it was just enough to remind me of it without requiring that you had seen Captain Marvel 1. And let's see. I think it was a good phase transition. I don't know if this is the end of this phase and start of a new phase, but I think this was a really good spot for this phase. Now I'm now very excited for where it's going to go after this, and the post-credit scene probably gave us some really large hints about where they're going to go next, but we're not going to talk about that until we get into the spoilers, but that's coming up very soon. I just wanted to say this, and I feel very strongly about this. The fight scenes in this movie are probably the highlight. They are probably the best thing that this movie has to offer. The fight scenes in this movie are amazing. And I'm not even just saying that. These are some of the best fight scenes that I've seen in the MCU probably since Infinity War and Endgame. But to be completely honest, I'm going to have to rewatch Infinity War and Endgame to see if they even hold up a candle. Because the mechanic that they introduced, the quantum entanglement between all three of the Marvels, it was so cool. It was like, it's something that, okay, on paper, that sounds really cool. But if it lives and dies by its execution. It was executed very well. Every single entangled fight felt so cool and so fluent and so fun to watch that honestly, I could rewatch the fight scenes from this movie over and over and over and over again. And I think, my overall review of this movie is I liked it. I thought it was really good. A strong showing for this phase. I also really liked the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I didn't actually get to do a review for that one, but I did enjoy that as well. So I think that this phase, personally, I think that it's ended off really well. And I actually liked Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, contrary to popular belief. I've been enjoying this phase, and I know there were definitely still some problems with movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I'm glad that I feel like this movie didn't fall into those same problems, and that it was really a completely different experience. It was a complete experience from beginning to end, and like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I think if you enjoy Marvel movies, that you will too. So that's going to be it for my spoiler-free review. So now we are going to get into the spoilers. So here's your official spoiler warning. All right. And now let's get into it with... Okay. So I guess I might as well talk more about those details of the story that I was alluding to. I really actually did like this story. One thing that I was worried about is that they were going to be hopping around to these different planets. Nothing would feel real and lived in, and we wouldn't really get to experience any of these specific planets, but we would just be going from spot to spot to spot, and that the villain of the story wouldn't feel like a good villain. It would just feel like a fly-by-night type of, oh, we need somebody for now. But I was wrong on both of those accounts. I gotta be completely honest. I feel like they actually did live in a couple of these worlds. Like, there was a lot of moving around. We got to see the Saber space station. We got to see this one abandoned planet where Carol was like stationed at for the moment. We got to see another planet that was fully inhabited by Skrulls. Then another planet that was inhabited by aliens who have to sing to communicate. But I do think that they did a good job actually using the environments of this film and making them matter, and not just, oh, we're gonna go to here. Because like I said, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the quantum realm was a really cool setting, and I liked what they did and how it varied depending on where you were. But then again, like, there were spots like where Bill Murray was. There was a whole city and it had the Star Wars feel. I don't think we're ever gonna revisit that part of the quantum realm. I don't think we're ever going to revisit those characters. So after, a couple months of watching it just felt so temporary. So, so it just felt like it didn't matter in the end. And that's just not what I wanted in the Marvels. And I don't think that that's what they're doing. I actually did like all the places we went. Even the planet where everyone has to sing. And me personally, I don't like musicals. And one thing I hate even more than musicals is musical episodes or segments of something that is not a musical. I hate it. It annoys the hell out of me, because I'm not gonna watch a musical considering I don't like musicals. So I hate when something I was already watching just becomes a musical. It's hella annoying. But it was cool in this one. When it first happened, when I first saw it, I did become annoyed, and I was like, oh, this is definitely going to be my least favorite part of the entire film. I could appreciate it by the end. It wasn't too much. It wasn't overdone. And I really felt like Brie Larson just wanted to do that. She wanted to have some fun with the character. She wanted to give Captain Marvel this alter ego, I guess, or this subplot that made her just more well-rounded, more human, a little softer. And like, the too long didn't read is that she went to this musical planet and she married their prince, and she's technically a princess. Something that, like, you wouldn't think Brie Larson's Captain Marvel would do, because she's so like, hold on, let me move over. What is it? Look at that face. Look at that serious face. That's the face she makes in the entire film. But when she gets to her planet with her husband and they're singing musicals, she's having so much fun. She puts on a dress, she's dancing, and she's singing, and she's enjoying it. I did appreciate a little bit of a break just for Brie Larson, just for Captain Marvel. Give her something fun to do so that, it wasn't just the other two having fun without her. But the other two have so much fun. Iman Vellani is fun in this film. Kamala Khan is fun in this film. She is one of my favorite characters in Marvel. I know when I say that, people are like, what? But she's cringe, and she's new, and she's woke. I love Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. I love the stretchy, like the original design, the stretchy powers. I love her backstory. Yes, she's cringe, but all superheroes are cringe, so it's like, get over it. I have always been a huge Kamala Khan fan, and while I was hesitant with this new MCU version, because there are some things they change about her, the character is so there. The personality is so there. The fact that she's just a huge Marvel nerd, and that she's just like a fangirl when she gets to see some of her favorite characters, I really appreciate that. And I think that's going to be really fun moving forward to other projects like Young Avengers, maybe a Captain Marvel 3, who knows. But there actually is a Young Avengers tease in this film, as well as, I guess I should take a moment to talk about all of the cameos that pop up in this film, because that was one of my favorite parts, and that was one part where I was like, wow, we really are in the late stages of the MCU. We're pretty deep in the MCU to where we can just pull in a character. We all know this character's background because they were previously established in a different film. Pull them in, experience them for a couple seconds, and then put them back. I think that Valkyrie was in this film for just a quick minute. Yeah, I know when I reviewed Thor: Love and Thunder, I said I watched the movies for the plot. So I was happy to see that the plot was back in the Marvel. You know I love me a good plot. So yeah, we got some King Valkyrie. We got Kate Bishop, and then I guess we got to talk about the cameo at the very end, which was, first off, an alternate universe version of Maria Rambeau. Monica Rambeau went to a different dimension. She saw another version of her mother, and in this other dimension, we got a cameo from a character that is brand new to the MCU. Hank McCoy's Beast from the X-Men was actually taking care of her. This has huge implications, but at the same time, not enough huge implications. I'm really excited that this means, like, we're very close to the X-Men section of the MCU. We're very close to that new phase, but how close are we really? I was excited to see the cameo, and I'm excited that means we're probably going to get there soon. And also that Monica is there right now. So when we do get the X-Men, Monica just might already be there and already have the experience that we need. But one of my problems with the MCU that I had since Doctor Strange 2 is that the multiverse just doesn't feel like a permanent and accessible part of our universe. It always feels like the movie is like about exploring it, or having the multiverse explore our world, or combating it, or preventing it, and then at the end they just zip it up. All right, everything's cool, we fixed it, let's all go back home, no more multiverse, no more problems, no more incursions. And it's like, why? They've done, like, how many multiversal stories have they done by now? They did Doctor Strange 2, they did Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe you could say that Loki is multiversal. It's really hard to tell, but I think by now we don't just need a hint at the multiverse, a preview of the multiverse. I want to go into the multiverse. So one thing I think that they could have done at the very end, the villain punches a hole through the multiverse. Monica is like, we got to go shut that hole. And so they come up with a plan really fast. Monica goes out there and she kind of sacrifices herself to shut the hole because she has to shut it on the other side. That's how she ended up in this other dimension. As soon as they said, we got to go shut that hole, my thought is, why? Leave it open. Who cares? Like, who knows what's going to come through there? It could be super fun times. Even if it's not super fun times, that could be how we get Secret Wars. Leave the door open. I said this in Doctor Strange 2 after my review. We have America Chavez who can just make doors whenever she wants to multiverses. Just leave a door open. Just pick one door and leave it open. I really don't get it. That, like, Doctor Strange himself can bring in multiversal characters in Spider-Man No Way Home, but then by the end of it, everybody goes back home to their dimension. It wraps up really nicely, really tight. Just leave a door open. Leave a character in the wrong multiverse. I'm trying to have some fun here. Like, that was my only real complaint, is, like, it still feels like we're just wading in the waters of the multiverse, and it has been 2 years since Doctor Strange 2. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. It's been 2 years. 2 whole years worth of Marvel movies. We get like 3 a year plus 2 to 3 TV shows a year. We should be much farther into the multiverse by now. That's my main complaint. But it's not a complaint about this movie specifically. It's more a complaint about the MCU. Because this is as deep into the multiverse as we've gotten so far. So fingers crossed that we can only go deeper from here. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Nick Fury is fun in this movie, but, you know, he's not really necessary. He's just there, and he's just there for a little bit of comic relief and fun. Which, I don't know. Did we really need any more comic relief when we got Kamala being hilarious, when we got Monica Rambeau, you know, being the level-headed relative voice of reason? But, you know, who knows? The family was also really funny. Like I said, the fight scenes in this are amazing, but I really, my mind goes, there are 3 main fight scenes. First, when neither of them know how the switching works, where they're switching by accident and they're just popping all over the place, and they got to fight here, then they got to fight there, then they got to fight here. I thought that was really funny. Then they get more of an idea of how the powers work, and they're switching on purpose, and they're using it intentionally, and they're coming up with plans to switch and tag in and tag out. That was really cool. And then in the end, it's kind of like, all right, final form. We know how to do this. We know what to do. We are a team now. All of those fight scenes were really cool, and I did like that progression of them getting better and better at using it. It reminded me of, like, Mortal Kombat 1 cameo characters. Like, you can play the game without using your cameo character, but once you know how to use them, it makes your entire gameplay better. It elevates your whole gameplay, makes your combos look cooler. It locks your opponent down and makes you just a more formidable opponent. That's how I felt with these 3 characters once they learned how to use their entanglement. Like, level 1 entanglement, they were still a formidable force, but as soon as they really figured out how to do it, there was almost no stopping the Marvels. They were such a spectacular team, such an amazing team, and I really did like this film. I think you guys will too. But yeah, I think that was it for the film. I really did enjoy it, and there were many different things to enjoy about it. The funny moments, the action moments. There were also sentimental moments. I don't think that those moments hit exact, like, you know, they were necessary for the story between Monica and Carol. And then in the end, like, there was an arc about Kamala learning the stakes of being a hero and learning just how serious it is. I thought that was pretty cool. But, you know, I wasn't here for the sentimental moments. I was here for the fun stuff, the cool stuff, the action, and the fight scenes. And I'm glad that we got both, so that I don't even mind the musical segment, because we got so much cool stuff. Really good fights and VFX that, you know, you take the good with the bad. You take them all that you have. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I might have to say, I think this is my favorite MCU film of the year. This is definitely, like I said, it has some of my favorite fight scenes in the MCU in a long time. So that's my overall review of the Marvels. And I think you guys should see it just for the X-Men post-credit scene. So decide whether you think that's worth it for you or not. But that is going to be it for my review. And that's going to be it for the Marvels. So guys, do me a favor really quickly before we get out of here. And boom, hit me with the 3-hit combo. I need you to smash the like button like Ryu, spear the subscribe button like Scorpion, and kick the notification bell like the Kazuya for another episode of First and Final. I think this is officially the first and final video of the year. We only got one more month of the year, so I don't think there's anything left. So it's been a fun year. We started off with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We also did Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That actually has to be, I mean, okay, technically that's my favorite Marvel movie of the year, but that's like Sony Marvel as opposed to MCU Marvel. So I will keep them separate for now. But definitely check out the Spider-Verse First and Final, because that is one of my favorite films of the year. Then we also did one for Star Wars Visions. That was a really good second season of Visions. We also did one for the newest Mortal Kombat animated film, Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. And then now we are here with this one for the Marvels. I recorded a reaction for Blue Beetle and one for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, assuming I would do a first and final, but I never got around to doing it. I have seen those films, I just didn't write any reviews of it. So it is technically still possible to get a first and final, but I don't think anyone is checking for those films anymore. But guys, that is going to be it for this one. So I need you to tell me how you felt. If you have seen the Marvels, tell me how you felt about it. If you have not seen it, tell me why you're hesitant or when you're going to go see it. And actually, if you haven't seen it, why did you listen to my entire review? I literally spoiled the whole thing, the post-credit scene. Make better decisions. But guys, that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to get up out of here, play some more Omni-Man. Also look out for my Avatar The Last Airbender trailer reaction dropping same day. Oh, also, next Friday's video is going to be an online gameplay video with Omni-Man. New main alert, Omni-Man. So look out for that next Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you guys there. Peace out.
Huh?